Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. We are back in the building. It is Tuesday, December the 14th, 2021. This is Wake Up with RayGque, brought to you by Bets TV. Make sure you subscribe to the Bets TV YouTube channel. That's the only place you can watch the show. We're not streaming it to Twitter anymore. We're streaming it solely to YouTube, so make sure you subscribe to the Best TV YouTube channel so you can watch the show, my show, Matthew Friedman show, Preston Cheetah, Mad Lab, Chris Smith, everybody on the Best TV roster. Make sure you subscribe to the Best TV YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Wake Up with RayGque podcast. We were off yesterday. We were working out some difficulties with this transition to solely YouTube content, but we got it fixed. Got a lot of shit that we got to talk about today. Jay, good morning, my friend. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, it's funny. You mentioned everyone on the Best TV lineup, but you didn't mention the Touchdown King. So I got to show Double G.
I mean, come on.
The
Double
respect
G,
he
Gucci,
deserves.
Gucci,
Touchdown
man.
Town.
Yeah, man. Come on.
Dog Day Afternoon. Love that. Although, to be fair, he was on the Steph Curry prop yesterday. So, unfortunately, didn't hit that one.
Did Steph make it last? Or is he 2 away? He's 2 away, right?
He's 2 away right now, and I owe you a case of Topo Chico.
You owe me a case. You got to pay up, bro. You've been ducking and dodging this bet for a couple of days now. You got to pay.
I know. Pay
the piper, man. I need my case. They got him at Walmart. I need, I think it's like $13. So I need you to PayPal me my $13 so we could get it popping. But it was good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to be back. Got a lot that we need to talk about. Game last night was good. Games on Sunday. You see who I'm wearing today. The Dallas Cowboys, man. What a dominant performance by one Dallas Cowboys. Let's we'll get to Dallas in a minute. I think we got some news and notes. Let me see. Let me take a look. What do we got? Quick news. Let's talk about it because we weren't here yesterday. So we got to talk about Bryce Young. Won the Heisman Trophy, Alabama, redshirt freshman quarterback, second-year player. We knew it was going to happen after he beat Georgia in the SEC title game, and before that, the 4-overtime thriller versus Auburn really sort of cemented his status amongst college football greats for this season. Second place was Aiden Hutchinson, the defensive end from Michigan. Bryce Young, talented young thrower of the football, reminds me of a young Russell Wilson. Bryce Young, congratulations to him for winning the Heisman Trophy, and this is what it is, man. You know, throughout the season, a lot of people were jumping on running backs, Breece Hall, Bijan Robinson. Like, this is not historically a running back award. It goes to the best quarterback on the best team, and it just so happened that Alabama, best team in the country once again, even though they struggled here and there, man, I was thinking, Jay, because I put some polls out on Twitter the other day. In your opinion, what has been harder to do? What Nick Saban has been able to accomplish in 15 years at Alabama, I think his career record in 15 years, I know he's got 4 national championships, 4 or 5 national championships. I know he's got 4 Heisman Trophy winning players, Devonta Smith, Mark Ingram, Derrick Henry, and now Bryce Young. I think his record is like 182 and 20-something over his 15 years at Alabama with the turnover, with the, recruiting, new kids, college kids turnover. What Nick Saban's been able to do in 15 years at Alabama, or what Tom Brady's done over the course of his career in the NFL. What's a harder feat to accomplish? Because I put it out there yesterday, man. We are truly witnessing greatness with Tom Brady, and we'll get into the game in a minute. But, man, like, think about this. This is Tom Brady's 22nd year in the NFL. If you had a child, Tom Brady's rookie season, you had a baby, wham, baby pops out, baby's crying and shit. You got an itty-bitty little baby when Tom Brady first entered the league, right? And that child now has grown up, gone through high school, is in their second year of college, and potentially has a kid of their own, and Tom Brady is still slinging touchdown passes. In your opinion, what's the harder feat to accomplish? The longevity and the success of Tom Brady in the NFL, or what Nick Saban continues to do at the collegiate level, which I don't think should be diminished at all, because it's incredible, man.
I think it's pretty easily Tom Brady for me.
Okay.
The main reason why is level of control, and I think as well a little bit quality of players, right? Nick Saban did have to earn that right to get the quality of players he gets year after year. But the biggest thing with Brady is he even has the years on Saban, which is wild to think. Like, to think that Tom Brady has the years on a coach like Nick Saban as good as he is insane. But yeah, it's just the level of quality control. Brady can only control what he can control, where Saban can control, obviously, the entire roster. I think a better comparison, honestly, would be Belichick versus Saban, right? Which one is more?
Okay.
Which one's bigger? Because Belichick has what, 7 championships, or even 8, I think, when you count the one with the Giants when he's at DC.
Well, yeah.
So from that standpoint, it's like, as an NFL head coach, Belichick's the best. Saban's the best college coach. I don't know whose is better. I kind of think in some ways that Belichick is better only because he did it in the NFL, right? In college, you have much more roster turnover, but at Alabama right now, there is way more talent flowing in there each and every year that they continue to be good because of that. But again, it was earned by Saban, so I have to give him credit for that, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's Tom Brady. I just wanted to throw it out there because looking at Saban's career resume, it was just super impressive to see how good he's been at Alabama. And again, the parity of college football, the turnover, like you're only as good as your recruiting classes. The fact that he continues to be this good after turning over offensive coordinator after offensive coordinator after defensive coordinator. There was a picture that was shown, I believe PFF, they're the king of finding random stats. But in the college football playoff, Luke Fickell, Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, and Jim Harbaugh. Luke Fickell and Kirby Smart were a part of Alabama's coaching staff at one. It's just Mel
Really?
Tucker would yes, Luke Fickell and Kirby Smart were a part of the Alabama the coaching tree from Nick Saban. I want somebody to just pull up and just look at how many head coaches right now currently in the college football landscape, offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators, came from the Nick Saban. It's impressive, man. It rivals that picture of John Gruden where everybody was on John Gruden's staff with Tampa Bay and Oakland. Just crazy impressive, man. Quinn Ewers, the golden mullet himself, is transferred from North Carolina, Ohio State to Texas. Not a surprise to anybody. We've been talking about that on the show for weeks now. Shout out to Matt Bruning who talked about that. Mel Tucker and Mario Cristobal, also a part of Nick Saban's coaching tree amongst everybody else that's coaching in college football. If you were a GA with Nick Saban when he started out, you have made millions because you're a head coach now. It's incredible. Las Vegas is set to host the Super Bowl 58 in 2024. My hometown, Vegas, baby. I'll be there. Cheering on my Raiders. Big Raiders fan over here. Cheering on my Raiders. Urban Meyer. I don't know where to start, Jay. I don't know where to start with this Urban Meyer thing, man. People are making up fake players, talking about they need more playing time. Urban Meyer's he got on the field a little bit more. Guys played 0 snaps. James Robinson, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Well, he got 6 carries for 4 yards. Trevor Lawrence, 4 interceptions. Laviska Shenault, Laquan Treadwell running into each other. Urban Meyer, did you see the clip where he's just agreeing with the reporter who's like, your offensive line is trash. They're being paid way too much money not to perform. And he's like, yep, you're right. What are you, this, I've been calling this from the day he got hired. I was like, this is a catastrophic mistake. This is a catastrophic mistake, hiring Urban Meyer to run a locker room of men when all he's been good at in his career is being a tyrant over children. Because that's what college is, man. These are kids, and you can easily boot a kid off your team. There's no financial commitment tied to him. You're the coach. The AD normally acquiesces to the head coach, especially the head football coach at major programs like Ohio State, like Florida, like Utah. But that shit was never going to fly in Duval County, Florida. It wasn't going to fly in Jacksonville. And now one has to think, honestly, I've been talking back and forth with Jordan Reed from ESPN. Shout out Jay Reed. He tweeted out yesterday, and we kind of DM'd about it. How much do you factor in situations and infrastructure when you're trying to project these prospects, these college guys? A lot of people are looking right now and saying, oh, well, Mac Jones, the only reason he's successful is because he landed in New England. No, that's not true. He was good going into the NFL draft process, and he landed in a perfect situation that was conducive to his skill set. How much should we be looking at Jets, Texans, Jaguars when we're looking at players, man, when we're looking at prospects, when we're looking at quarterbacks? Because now there's no way. I find it hard to believe that Trevor Lawrence is this bad. I won't believe it, man. I will not believe it. What I saw him do at college, in college, on the largest stages, man. There's no way T-Law is this bad. There's no way James Robinson is this bad. Even though I'm not the biggest Laviska Shenault fan, there's no way you can't find a way to get that guy on the field. And right now, your most threatening offensive weapon is a defensive back on IR playing wide receiver in Laquan Treadwell. It is very concerning. I look at Zach Wilson, extremely concerned. If the Texans do draft a quarterback, which I don't think they will, I will be very concerned about whatever quarterback goes to Houston. Like, I don't know how much weight or percentage we should put on landing spot, coaching situations, infrastructure, competence, but I feel like it's got to factor in a little bit because what we're seeing in Jacksonville is scary, man. It's scary in a bad way. And then you hear the owner, Shad Khan, come out and say, "We got full confidence in this guy. We got confidence that we're going to turn this thing around." They play the Texans this week. Everybody listening to the show, everyone across the football world should be cheering for the Houston Texans, cheering for Davis Mills, cheering for Nico Collins, for Brevin Jordan, because if they lose to the Texans, I do think Urban Meyer's gone. He should be gone regardless, but if they don't, and he somehow squeaks off a win, we know it. It's just a matter of time. We just got to get this ship on. I mean, the handshake between he and Mike Vrabel was so cold, just stoic, stone-faced, idiot look on his face. I've never seen anything like it in my lifetime in sports. I've seen there have been some incompetent, undeserving head coaches in the NFL, the NBA. I'm pretty sure there have been some bad managers in Major League Baseball. But what we're seeing from Urban Meyer, from his draft day selection of 2 Clemson players, one of which is a running back in the first round, which you do not do. Somebody had a fantastic tweet last night that I retweeted, and somehow the account got suspended. But the tweet said, the Pittsburgh Steelers cut James Conner to turn around and draft a running back in the first round. What? And we're being honest. I mean, they're the same damn player. Now she's just a little bit younger, maybe a little more spry, but they're the same player. Pittsburgh let James Conner go to turn right back around and draft James Conner in the first round of the NFL draft. What kind of galaxy brain sense does that make? But back to Urban Meyer, just your thoughts really quickly on how the situation has unfolded. Has it gone worse than anticipated? What do we do with Jacksonville moving forward?
So to answer your question about that you and Jordan Reed were talking about, I think we're right on track with Urban Meyer right now. I think this is pretty much what I expected to happen, fall off the rails. But I think to your point about the quarterback situation, because you look at a team like the Jets, the Texans, potentially even the Lions, we don't want quarterbacks to go to these teams. But at the end of the day, if you want a high-end quarterback, they're probably going to go to a bad roster, bad organization, bad team overall. It's very rare you're going to get a situation like even you look at Trey Lance, right? Trey Lance went, 3rd overall? And he went to a team that is on the precipice of the playoffs right now. So from that standpoint, I think it's like this should be expected. These bad first years, hopefully turn around second year. But you look at Saleh, and I don't really blame him for Zach Wilson's development because he's not an offensive guy. But then you look at Trevor Lawrence, it's like, okay, this is clearly Urban Meyer's fault. Like it has to be. I think you can project it a little bit, but you don't want to go as far as the organization because that's going to constantly change on these bad rosters. Like even Dan Campbell, I don't think is a bad coach. Like I think if you gave Dan Campbell a good quarterback, he would have a pretty decent chance at developing them over time.
There's a big difference between Dan. There's a big difference between Dan Campbell and the Lions and Urban Meyer and the Jaguars. Dan Campbell doesn't have whatever you think of Trevor Lawrence, Dan Campbell doesn't have that at quarterback.
Yeah.
He's got DeAndre Swift. I think the best offensive lineman, Frank Ragnow. I'm not sure if he's back or not, but I know he dealt with injuries. You've got a young offensive line. Your best pass-catching weapon is a 4th-round rookie. You're running the ball with somebody named Craig Reynolds. I mean, the situations aren't comparable. You do have a returning 1,000-yard rusher in James Robinson. You do have competent wide receivers such as a Marvin Jones, a Laviska Shenault. You do have Trevor Lawrence opposed to Jared Goff. I mean, the situations are completely different. You give Dan Campbell, that Jacksonville team, they play harder. They play better. It's just, Ragnow out for the season. It's just, it's something, and you're right. Coaching staffs and situations, they always change, right? They're never stagnant. They always change, and there's not a 100% probability that Trevor Lawrence will outlast Urban Meyer in Jacksonville. But I just think as far as our expectations for these players, we cannot overlook some of these bad situations, play caller. I don't know how much stock we should put into it because If you put too much into it, you get Clyde Edwards-Helaire, where you're just losing your mind over a landing spot like Kansas City. If you overlook it and you're just like, don't give a damn, talent over everything, you end up with some pretty rough years from players like a Zach Wilson, players like a Trevor Lawrence, even Justin Fields to a certain degree. We'll see how that shakes out. We'll see. I don't have the answer to it. I don't know what side of the coin I truly land on, but I just think it's an interesting, thought-provoking, topic to kind of discuss. All right, so coming out of Sunday, Lamar Jackson hurt. Austin Eckler hurt, but supposed to be okay. Josh Allen in a walking boot. You got doctors saying it's extremely concerning, and then in the same tweet, not that big of a deal. So we got to figure out what's going on with Josh Allen. Kareem Hunt hurt. Terry McLaurin concussion. Emmanuel Sanders hurt. Deontay Foreman hurt. All right, we got a lot of players going down like flies. I can't even keep track with the COVID list. Washington football team, entire team, COVID. We didn't have Keenan Allen this past Sunday, COVID. Jalen Ramsey, surprise inactive last night, COVID. It's crazy, man. 37 cases on Monday morning. It's not good. Dallas Cowboys, my Dallas Cowboys, Tyron Smith hurt, not going to play on Sunday versus the Giants, already announced. Not good. And your favorite guy, Steph Curry. 2 away. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning. 2 away from breaking, or is it 2 away from tying, 3 from breaking, 2 from breaking? 2 from breaking. Do they play tonight?
They play tonight at Madison Square Garden. So look for Steph to drop 50
I'm so
tonight,
glad he didn't do it in Indiana. I mean, who lives in that wretched state in the first place?
You know that Adam Silver got on the phone and said, hey,
calm it down.
Cool it for a couple
Indiana
days.
Doesn't even deserve to see Steph Curry. Who would voluntarily live in that state? You couldn't pay me.
Larry Bird made Indiana.
You could not pay me to live in Indiana. That has to be outside of like those deserted states like Montana and Iowa and shit like that. Like the Dakotas. You couldn't pay me to live in Indiana. Woof. No thank you. So thank goodness Steph Curry didn't give those fans something they probably don't deserve. Let's do it in New York City, baby. Do it in Madison Square Garden, Steph Curry. Shout out to everybody watching from Indiana. I love you. You know this is just entertainment. I'm just kidding. But we got a lot to get into. So let's go ahead and get into the morning run, baby.
Wake up! This is the morning run.
Hey Jay, we're gonna talk about my Dallas Cowboys. Why are you on my screen? We're gonna talk about my Dallas Cowboys. I just have to get it off my chest. I feel so good. I feel so happy. Micah Parsons is a godsend. I have not been this happy, this excited for a player on my Dallas Cowboys. I can't think of, I guess it's when we found Dak, like when Dak balled out in the preseason 2015, 2016 and took over for Tony Romo, whenever that was. Maybe it was 2016. It was the same class as Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, I have not been this giddy. My son's got a Micah Parsons jersey. It's oversized. It looks like a dress on him. Doesn't care. Wears his Parsons jersey all around the house. I'm rocking Micah Parsons all around the house. Micah Parsons is that dude, man, versus the Washington football team. 3 tackles, 2 sacks, a forced fumble. On the season, he's got 102 tackles, 22 tackles for a loss, and 14 sacks. This young rookie, man, has completely changed the tone, the presence of the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys will go as far as Micah Parsons allows them to go. It was at one point in time, if the Dallas defense just doesn't screw it up, the offense will carry them. And now it's completely flipped. It's as long as the offense doesn't screw it up, the Dallas Cowboys defense will carry them to victory. And right now, I've been how many weeks, honestly, how many weeks in a row months have I been saying Micah Parsons should be in consideration for Defensive Player of the Year? How long have I been saying that, Jay? Honestly, how long have I been saying it?
It's been a while, to be fair. Probably at least a month and a half. You've been saying, where are his odds? Where are they at? Where are they at, right? And he didn't even have them for the longest time. And now, Micah Parsons, plus 400. And on some books, depending on the book you use, it's even lower than that. It's plus 300, plus 350. He's right there with TJ Watt,
I think he's tied with TJ Watt or 50 points higher than TJ Watt and a little behind Myles Garrett. TJ Watt didn't play last Sunday, injured his groin. I mean, he started the game, or last Thursday, started the game, couldn't finish. So he's got some extra time rest. Don't know how healthy or effective he'll be down the stretch with that groin injury. But Micah Parsons, man, he's right there. And listen, players like Comeback Player of the Year, like Defensive Player of the Year, these are narrative-based awards, man. These are narrative-based awards. And what better narrative than the first player since Lawrence Taylor in 1981 to win Defensive Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. And the advantage that Dallas has right now over Cleveland and over Pittsburgh is Dallas is going to win the NFC East. Pittsburgh is not going to win the AFC North. And there's a good chance that the Cleveland Browns versus the Cincinnati Bengals, that week 17, week 18 matchup will be to decide who the winner of the AFC North is. So you're talking about a player playing on a team who's going to win the division, who Dallas still, because of the loss of Arizona last night, they still have an outside shot at the number one seed in the NFC. This is impressive. What we're witnessing from this young man is something that just does not come around often. We are going to see him break Javon Kearse's rookie sack record. I think he's like 1.5 away from setting Javon Kearse's rookie single season sack record as a linebacker who didn't play in 2020 because he sat out for COVID. This kid didn't even play football since 2019, and he's playing a position that in college, I believe, he took, I think it was sub 100 snaps at defensive end during his college career. So he's not even a trained edge rusher. He's just a kamikaze weapon who's wreaking havoc for the Dallas Cowboys defense. And he was on Taylor Heineke's ass on Sunday, and we needed it because Dak is still struggling. Dak is on the verge of losing Comeback Player of the Year. We kind of talked about this offline, Jay. He's on the verge of losing Comeback Player of the Year. And if I were people out there, because of the juice you're getting with Joe Burrow, I might sprinkle a little something on Joe Burrow. I did myself, so I'm practicing what I preach. I put a little something on Joe Burrow to win Comeback Player of the Year because statistically, Joe Burrow is better in just about every category outside of interceptions. I think he's got 4 more picks than Dak Prescott. They both take a shit ton of sacks. Dak has not played well lately. But I think at plus 700, that's what I got Joe Burrow at for Comeback Player of the Year. He's worth sprinkling a little something on there. Listen, dude, all right, back to basketball, football player references, and I'll get to Justin Herbert here in a second. Michael Gallup, Jay, hear me out, and I think this is a perfect comparison or sort of situational comparison for Michael Gallup. It's James Harden. Michael Gallup, listen to this. No, this is, I ran this past a couple of people, and they're like, Ray, you're a genius. I was like, I know football. I know what I'm talking about. He's James Harden when James Harden was on OKC. And what I mean by that is, like, we all saw how good James Harden could be when he was with Oklahoma City, but he couldn't thrive and be that star because Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook was there. Once James Harden left OKC and he got his shot to be the guy in Houston, that's when he went ballistic. That's when he started to blow up. That's when he was, MVP of the NBA. I think that's Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup is an absolute star, but he's buried behind Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, and he's up for free agency. I don't know what they're going to do with Gallup. They chose not to extend him when they had an opportunity, but just watching Gallup on Sunday, he had like another 40-yard play negated by a holding penalty. He's a star, man, and somebody's going to get a hell of a wide receiver, and I think next season we are going to finally get to realize how good Michael Gallup is when he's on another team. What do you think? What do you think about Gallup? What do you think about these Cowboys? I mean, defensive line is humming with Randy Gregory, Neville Gallimore, DeMarcus Lawrence. At one point, they had all those guys on the defensive front at one time, just NASCAR package rushing the passer. Dallas is hitting their stride defensively at just the right time. The offense has got to catch up. Zeke is hampered. Got Corey Clement running the damn ball. What are your thoughts, man? I said a lot. I'm excited. What are your thoughts of Parsons, Michael Gallup, Dak, Zeke, Cowboys, baby? Talk to me.
I got to give you some credit for Parsons because that's a call that you were on very early. Like, the funny thing is that when you talked about Trayvon Diggs being Defensive Player of the Year, I was like, nah, I don't think so. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. But when you started talking about Parsons, I was like, okay, because we're talking about sacks. And for whatever reason, sacks are the ultimate key to winning Defensive Player of the Year. You have to get a ton of sacks, a ton of pressures, make those impact plays on defense. As much as Trayvon Diggs is a good corner, he's not a great corner. He just gets a lot of interceptions because he's got great ball skills. Talking about Dak Prescott, how bad he's been, I got to give Hayden Winks some credit because he posted a tweet yesterday that I saw. Dak's completion percentage before week 6 when he got injured, it was plus 7.6 over expected, which is 4th in the NFL. Since it's minus 3.4%, which is 26th in the NFL. So Dak is literally throwing the ball at one of the worst rates in all the NFL right now. Is it because of the calf injury? Is it not? I don't know. Clearly, in my opinion, I think if you watch the games, the calf injury is still impacting him, whether it's confidence, whether it's, certain throws he can't make or certain ways he can't step up. I don't know. But it's definitely impacting him, and it's negatively affecting the Cowboys because as good as we know they are, my biggest thing from week 1 is that their defense looks a hell of a lot better with Trayvon Diggs and most importantly with Micah Parsons. That's going to continue to improve. We've seen it with Dan Quinn and what he's been able to do. But if Dak can't play at this, MVP or at least all-pro level, it's going to hurt them in the end. They're still 4th in the NFC. They still got to pass the Packers, the Cardinals, and the Bucs to get that number 1 seed. So I don't really know how I feel about it. Now, Michael Gallup, I don't know, man. I think you're going a little bit too far with that because James Harden obviously now is MVP, All-Pro, and won 6th Man of the Year. That's 11-12 season in OKC. So is Gallup that good? Potentially, but I don't think he's going to be that level. Like I think you're comparing. So for me, right? You look at Michael Turner. Michael Turner behind LT was a great running back, but he's not James Harden. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's kind of a similar situation there. And obviously comparing NFL to NFL, he was a great running back when he went from San Diego to Atlanta, but he wasn't an MVP candidate. He wasn't, offensive player of the year candidate. He was just really good.
I guess the comparison is when you've got a crowded room of three really talented. I don't even think people realized Harden was that good when he was at OKC. Nobody saw that level. James Harden, NBA leading scorer, multiple. I don't think people expected that. When Houston signed James Harden away from OKC, no one expected that from James Harden. I think everybody was like, yo, this Harden dude is good, but he was 6th Man of the Year. He was a rotational player. Like, he came in, he provided his spark, but he always took a backseat to Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. My comparison is just simply from a triplet standpoint, not, the backup to the starter. It's a room of 3 very talented wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Michael Gallup. I don't think Dallas is going to let Amari Cooper go. That team, Dallas is a different team when Amari Cooper's on the field. I know we all have coined CeeDee Lamb the second coming, and I believe that's true. He's great. But there's a big difference when it's CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup opposed to and Amari Cooper's out, opposed to Amari Cooper being he needs to be on the field for Dallas. I don't know what it is. I mean, first of all, he's great. He's a great wide receiver who is always sort of like disrespected, under the radar, and now losing some of his shine because of CeeDee Lamb. But that team is a lot better with Amari Cooper on the field opposed to Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb. So I don't think they're going to let Cooper go. I don't think that would happen, and I don't want it to happen. I'm just looking at Gallup saying once he gets an opportunity to be the guy, if he gets that opportunity, I think we'll see his light shine bright. It was just Dallas is good, man. I'm looking at that team and the way the defense is playing, the way Micah Parsons is playing. If they can get healthy offensively, because I'm with you, Dak is not healthy. I mean, he looks like he's running in mud, and he's terrified to run right now because of the ankle injury, because of the calf injury. They can't run the ball. Zeke looks like a fullback. Like, he looks
terrible.
Corey Clement looked like he had a little more juice than Zeke Elliott. Just keeping it real. Tony Pollard still hurt. Very good football team, man. I'm excited for the Cowboys moving forward. Good win. We called some of the CeeDee Lamb over 5 receptions. We hit that. That was a smash. The biggest miss by us this weekend, which absolutely killed your flex play. You almost went 5 for 5. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Was Antonio Gibson's rushing yards, 65.5. I think he got benched essentially after he fumbled the ball. Again, I did not know Antonio Gibson is leading the league in fumbles. Can't hold on to. Yeah, he's leading the league in fumbles. He can't hold on to the damn ball. It's a problem. But This is why I'm not all the way. A lot of people are like, and I've said this, a lot of people are like Christian McCaffrey 2.0. He's big, he's fast, he can catch the ball. I'm not all the way there on Antonio Gibson being this next level fantasy asset for those of us in fantasy leagues. Not all the way there yet with Antonio Gibson. Love the talent, love the player, check the receipts, but I'm not going to put him in that upper echelon of running backs in the NFL. Not yet, man. He's still a tier or two below those top level guys. But let's move on. Dak, I got to go through this. Dak was 22 for 39, 211, 2 interceptions, and 4 sacks. Not good for Dak Prescott. You talked about his EPA and all that other shit that I can't understand. All I know is I don't need all those numbers to watch the game and see Dak's got to play better. He's not playing good football whatsoever. We had a fantastic matchup. Tampa Bay versus Buffalo, man. Tom Brady. I mean, and we talked about him at the beginning of the show. At 44 years old, he's still out there doing this, Jay. I mean, he's on track. He's got 39 touchdowns on the season. He's 14 away from 50. He's got, 4 games left, 5 games left. I know he needs to average about 2.8 touchdowns a game to hit 50. He's going to go for over 5,000 yards again for the second time in his career. At 44, I just cannot, I can't comprehend what we're watching. And we are truly, in our sport lifetime, Jay, we are truly being blessed with seeing some of the greatest players in their respective sports across all sports. Think about that for a minute. Golf, we had the privilege of watching Tiger Woods, right? He's going to play with his son Charlie in a tournament, I believe, next week, which is awesome, or this weekend. I think it's the 18th. So what's that, Sunday?
Yeah.
I'm glued in because his son Charlie's apparently pretty damn good. So, I mean, and the fact that Tiger Woods is even participating after being in almost a life-threatening accident in February, bedridden, this is just, we will talk about this story probably next week. We will talk about this because it's truly a miracle that he's even playing and he gets to do it with his son. Tiger Woods, we got to watch Serena Williams in her prime, greatest tennis player of all time, male or female, Serena Williams. LeBron James, one of the best basketball players of all time. You want to argue him 1, 2, 3? Got to watch him in his prime. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, greatest ever. I mean, we are truly, and then I don't even want to go to soccer. You've got Ronaldo, you've got Messi, of all time. Baseball, I don't think we've seen that. We've seen some great players, but I don't know if we've seen.
Yeah. Trout's the main one.
I don't know if we've seen Babe Ruth or Hank Aaron.
Hey, Trout is the truth. He hasn't got the championships, but the numbers are.
But the numbers are legit. Ever. But we got to see little Barry Bonds. I mean, point is, we are truly getting to witness greatness across sports, and I think what Tom Brady's doing, he threw a 700th. That
was the game winner to Brashad
Perriman. I mean, just. The chart of Tom Brady where it just shows all the people who have caught passes, touchdowns from Tom Brady? It's just what he's doing is just incredible. And kudos to the Bills for clawing their way back into this one because at one point it was 24-3 and it looked bad for Buffalo. But Josh Allen, man, I don't know what to say. Jay, you were all over his rushing prop. I was the one that was like, I'm not sure. He smashed that thing like times 5. I mean, he had over 100 rushing yards or right at 100. I mean, he's huge for one, and he's fast. He's great, man. He's a great young quarterback, and his development and turnaround from his first 3 seasons in the NFL to what we're watching now, he's awesome. I mean, when you're looking across the NFL, I think the only quarterbacks you would take ahead of Josh Allen are Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes. I think that's it. In list. And I think some people may argue I'd take Josh Allen before any of them. Or I'd take Josh Allen before Mahomes. I think there's an argument to be made, but there aren't 3 quarterbacks in the NFL better than what Josh Allen is doing, and he's doing it with absolutely 0 running game. Tampa Bay won this one, and we got to give the credit to Tampa Bay, but Josh Allen, I mean, total yards, 466 for Buffalo, 488 for Tampa Bay. Yards per play, 6-1 for Buffalo, 6-3 for Tampa Bay. Passing yards, Tom Brady smashed that, 293 in total. Rushing yards, 173 to 131, and majority of that came from Josh Allen. I mean, time of possession was identical. 32 minutes for Buffalo, 32 minutes for Tampa Bay. This just, it came down to who had the ball last, who could make a play. This was a fantastic matchup. This one was awesome. It felt Super Bowl-esque between these two teams. But unfortunately, Buffalo loses, and they're like hanging on by a thread to even make the playoffs right now. They need a running back, man. They cannot continue to just pound Josh. Like, he's going to get hurt, man. He's going to get hurt, damn it. And I need him in my fantasy matchups down the stretch. Stop it, Buffalo. They got to find a running back. Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, Matt Breida fumbled the ball. They're inept. Buffalo, look, the team total, the points went over. 53.5. We talked about taking the over. Boom, hit. Tampa Bay minus 3.5. Boom, hit. Josh Allen over 28.5 rushing yards. Boom, hit. Chris Godwin, we called that. You were more on the receptions. I was like the yards. Didn't matter. Boom, boom. Hit both of those. Rob Gronkowski, yards. Boom, hit. 47.5. We got that. We had a good weekend of betting. We were sharing our bet slips back and forth. Go to ftndaily.com/something. Prize picks. Find it at the top. It's one of those things. We were money this past weekend. If you followed our picks, we were good money. Last night, I hit some good ones last night. But, Jay, what were your thoughts in this matchup? Josh Allen, Tom Brady, Gronk. We were all over this matchup, and it delivered both sides of the ball.
Yeah, it totally did. I was surprised a little bit at how it played out because, like you said, the Bucs got out early. They outscored them 24-3 in the first half just for the Bills to turn around and do the same thing in the second half, ultimately leading us to overtime. But this game from the very beginning was just one that I kind of expected from the standpoint of the Bills defense is being vaunted as this big juggernaut, top rushing defense, top passing defense. You can't run on them. You can't pass on them. But yet the Patriots had no problem running on them, and certain teams have had no problem passing on them. You take a team like Tampa Bay where they can do both. They have Tom Brady, who's been dominant against them for his entire career. And the same thing happened again, just for Josh Allen to turn around and play hero ball. Now, as you're talking about Josh Allen, I'm thinking like, if you just took Lamar Jackson's rushing ability and passing ability and flipped them, that's Josh Allen. Like, it really is. Like, you have Josh Allen, who has probably one of the best arms, if not the best arm in all of football. It's just about honing it in and getting him to be accurate enough and make smarter decisions. But I don't think there's a quarterback with a higher ceiling, a level of intangible higher than Josh Allen, because even Patrick Mahomes is nowhere near close to a same level of rusher as Josh Allen.
No.
And then that's the biggest thing is like, you were kind of like, oh, the linebackers. I'm like, it don't matter.
Yeah.
Like Josh Allen can outrun most linebackers.
You said
4-3 linebackers, 4-4 linebackers. He's not going to run past everybody, but he can run over them too. He can jump over guys. We've seen this since his rookie season. And that's why I like that over prop. And as well, the biggest thing is like, I knew they'd be on his ass, and they were the whole game. But the reason why I give Josh Allen so much credit, turf toe, walking boot after the game, he grinded out that game. And we see this a lot from Lamar Jackson, where he has to put the team on his back. Josh Allen did that in every sense of the word. They didn't run the ball with the running back until the third quarter. Not the third drive or the second. The third quarter was the first time Devin Singletary even took a carry from Josh Allen. That's how much they believe in him, which is good and bad, right? We've seen what happens to Lamar when he's the only guy doing anything in that offense, and they need J.K. Dobbins so bad, and the Bills need a running back so bad. But we'll see. When you put the team on your back, at least you're paying him $220 million to get it done. So at least he's being compensated. But you need more guys around him in order to succeed. The Bills are great, but he needs a little bit more and a little bit more stability on offense with some balance, and that will help him go a long way.
Yeah, it was just, Tampa Bay, they look unstoppable. I mean, they honestly look unstoppable, and it just makes me think, what if they had Antonio Brown there? Like, just another weapon that you just have to deal with. Leonard Fournette, fountain of youth. Mike Evans, ridiculous touchdown grabs.
Touchdown catch. Oh, my God.
They're unstoppable offensively. Tom Brady scrambling around, talking shit. This team it's a good team. Richard Sherman had an interception in this matchup. Just a very, very good performance from Tampa Bay. Gutty performance by Josh Allen and the Bills, but unfortunately, guts don't get you wins, and they are still teetering in their playoff hopes. We got a treat this past weekend, y'all. San Francisco versus Cincinnati. George Kittle, boom, smashed it. We locked that prop in. he destroyed it. What was it? 58.5 receiving yards for George Kittle. 56.5 on Prize Picks. He lapped that. He lapped that twice over. I mean, George Kittle, when he's healthy, I don't know if there's a more exciting, more energetic player to watch in football than this tight end, George Kittle. When he's healthy, he's the best tight end in football, better than Kelsey, better than Mark Andrews, better than Darren Waller. There's no player at his position better at what they do than George Kittle when healthy. He's incredible. And for those of you in Dynasty who got a little bit of a dip on the Kittle value because it seemed to have dropped, I think at one point he was being valued as tight end 6 after Pitts, Hawkinson, Waller, Kelsey, because he'd been injured. And what he did in this matchup, 15 targets, 13 receptions, 151 yards, and a touchdown. It's got Jimmy Garoppolo looking like the Jimmy G we thought he could be when he left New England, right? San Francisco pulled out this victory. Last-second touchdown in overtime. Touchdown in overtime to win it to Brandon Ayuk. I mean, San Francisco covered. -1.5. Boom. Over 48.5. Boom. Got it done. This was another impressive performance on both sides of the ball. Joe Burrow had a great game. Jamar Chase got out of his slump. His over-under was 62.5. We didn't touch it. We didn't touch it. The 49ers defense was banged up, and Jamar Chase took advantage. I think he had 77 yards, 2 touchdowns, could have had a third if he would have kept his foot in bounds, but Joe Burrow found him on a scramble drill. He was wide open in the end zone. He didn't have to do much, and then he delivered a perfect ball. He could have had 4, really, because he had hit him earlier in that drive, and he had, the ball had hit the ground. It was a tough grab. And then he just drops it in the bucket over there to Jamar Chase. Jimmy Garoppolo playing well. No Elijah Mitchell. Deebo Samuel still doing his damn thing. Just good. I mean, Kittle is good. Jamar Chase is good. T. Higgins, another 100-yard game for T. Higgins. Cincinnati is dope. Cincinnati's going to be playing Cleveland for the AFC North crown. Probably the last game of the season, and we'll see how that plays out. Jamar Chase finally breaks out of his slump. He's been pretty non-existent over the past 5 weeks. Hadn't gone over, I think 52 yards was his high. They showed a stat the first week 7 versus Baltimore. I think he had 201 receiving yards in that matchup. And then the 7 games following that, I think his total receiving yards was 249. So he really needed this to break out of the slump. But unfortunately for everybody out there who thinks Jamar Chase is going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, we'll get into odds tomorrow, but it's not looking good for his chances right now. Don't know if they've been updated overnight, but it looked like Mac Jones, the last we checked, Jay, was the clear-cut favorite for that award. He's got the Patriots in first place. I can't wait to troll everybody who laughed at me when I put that bet in July. And what did I say, Jay? What did I say? He's going to be playing on a team that's probably going to make the playoffs. He's a rookie quarterback. With that. That's it. That's it, folks. He's got these however you want to. Oh, it's the defense. He's the quarterback on the first place team in the AFC, and he's a rookie. He's gonna win the award. He's gonna win it. I've been telling y'all that for a long time. Justin Jefferson breaks Randy Moss's record, doesn't win it. Jamar Chase probably not gonna break Randy Moss's record, and even if he does, it's an extra seat. It doesn't matter. First place team, rookie quarterback, they get the award. That's just, I don't make the rules. I'm not saying Chase isn't deserving. I'm just telling you, if you're trying to make money, the smart bet is to put it on the quarterback position and not a wide receiver. And it looks like that's going to come to fruition once again. Kansas City versus the Raiders. Honestly, this is the only good thing to show from the Raiders. And I don't even know why we're showing it. Probably just because Hunter Renfrow's good. Very good. And once again, he's making defensive backs look stupid. Dude, do you know Hunter Renfrow's first 2 seasons? I mean, he had 600 yards as a rookie, turned around, got another 600 yards in his second year, and now he's going to go over 1,000 yards on the season, over 100 receptions. The next great white slot receiver in the NFL has arrived, baby. You know we have to, Jay. The NFL needs good white slot receiver. How else can we continue the Wes Welker, Danny Amendola, Julian? We need the NFL. I think they plant these guys around, and they don't do a lot. You can't. There ain't a lot of room for a lot of them. You got Cooper Kupp. But Cooper Kupp, I mean, he's a little different, right? Cooper Kupp's a little different, right? But I'm talking about the short, small, sneaky athletic white slot.
Shifty.
We need those guys. The NFL needs that to keep hope alive for all my other white brothers out there who are athletically challenged, who are sneaky athletic. The NFL, this is your. It's like the black hockey player. It's like only a couple, but it gives us all hope that we could do it. It's like Tiger Woods. And ain't many black folks out there golfing, but he inspired me to go to Walmart, buy a $112 set of clubs, and take my black ass to the golf course. I'm out there, bro, in J's and just a plain white tee. Everybody else is up in the morning. They're dressed proper. They got their polo on, tucked in. You know what I'm saying? Their golf shoes. And I come out of that bitch. I'm just chain, white tee. I'm at the golf range. That's what these players do. I'm all wrong out there. All wrong. Don't know what I'm doing. But that's what Hunter Renfrow does for my unathletic white brothers. He's doing it, and he's great, man. You got to put some respect on Hunter Renfrow's name, and that's about all the respect we can put on the Raiders' name, because they wanted to dance around on the 50-yard line on the logo, and they got slapped down. 48, 49 to 9. I don't know what the final score was, but it was over real fast. This game was
48 to 9. The Chiefs almost hit the over by themselves. But like you talked about, the Raiders last season doing the victory lap around Arrowhead, then they take the meeting on the 50-yard line right on the Chiefs logo. It was a bad day for the Raiders, man. First play of the game, Josh Jacobs fumbles the ball, and I don't know who it was, whether it was Breland or someone, took the ball to the end zone. First play of the game.
Play of the game.
Fumble 6, first play. Game was over after that.
Renfrow fumbled one, Carr throwing picks left and right.
Terrible.
And
now the Chiefs are third in the AFC, posed to challenge your Patriots. My Patriots.
Ain't my Patriots. That's your squad. I'm pro Mac Jones.
Crazy stat for you, right? We talked about the quarterback who could win the most games and win Rookie of the Year. That was kind of my caveat for who would win. Mac Jones has won as many games as the Jets, the Bears, and the Jaguars combined. And we know that not even the rookie quarterbacks have started all those games. So Mac Jones has won more than pretty much every single first-round quarterback combined this season. He is easily the Rookie of the Year. He's only minus 500. He should probably be minus 5,000, honestly. Let's just keep it real.
He's going to win Rookie of the Year. Renfro's dope. The Chiefs, I'm still... Dude, what's happened to Kelsey? I mean, what has happened to Travis Kelce? What has happened to Travis Kelce?
The thing with this game that was odd, right? Mahomes really spread it around. He didn't go for a ton of yards. He didn't even hit his overs at all. I don't think a single player outside of maybe Byron Pringle.
I think Tyreek hit his.
He only had like 60 yards though.
No, I thought Tyreek had 76. I think he had Tyreek had 76, and his over I think was 73.5. He hit. Tyreek hit. Barely. Yeah, Mahomes, I mean, 258 and 2. He didn't hit. He didn't hit his.
CH had like 40 yards.
Yeah, he had 38, 2 tutties. Yeah. It was a weird game. Defensively, the takeaway is defensively, Kansas City is balling right now. They are getting after the quarterback. They're causing turnovers. They've got defensive backs that can cover. They are hitting. It's like Dallas. They're like Dallas of the AFC. The defense right now is carrying Kansas City as the defense for the Dallas Cowboys are carrying that franchise. The AFC is just all over the place. Like, I don't know who the best team is. Some weeks it looks like the Chargers. Then it's hard to deny the Patriots. Tennessee, I still think Tennessee is fraudulent. I still think Tennessee is are frauds. They won 20-0 over the Jags, but it wasn't impressive. I mean, it wasn't impressive. That team has looked nothing like when Derrick Henry was there. It's just a completely different team. There's a report that freaking Derrick Henry could be back before the playoffs.
That's insanity. Who knows, man? With Derrick Henry, you never know.
You never know with Henry. But I'm still, I don't know. Can Kansas City go to Gillette Stadium and win a playoff game in the road? Can Kansas City do that? Can they beat Bill Belichick and that defense? J.C. Jackson, Matthew Judon, Barmore, they're
so good, man.
They're balling, man. I'm so impressed with New England defensively. I don't know. The Raiders are bad. I doubt we see any more Darren Waller. Maybe he plays. maybe Waller's just like, screw it. There's a report. There's some beat reporters saying that they've got a read on a big-time name for the Las Vegas Raiders head coaching job, but they can't release the name. I think it's Dabo Swinney, and that would be it wouldn't be as Urban Meyer of a colossal fail. I think Dabo would be a better college transition coach to the NFL than Urban Meyer, but I still don't think it would end well. I don't think it would end well. Clemson is going down quick, man.
Do you think he can get Clelin Ferrell up to snuff?
Well, Clelin Ferrell has been playing actually quite well. What's crazy is I think he's right there with Max Crosby in terms of the team leader. You know, Max Crosby's still at 5.5 sacks. He hadn't had a sack in he's still.
What?
I was listening to the game. He hadn't had a sack in 8 weeks. So
I think,
and Ferrell, I know Ferrell got 1 or 2 in this matchup. So, listen, I mean, he played for him, so he probably would rock with him, right? And he'd draft whatever Clemson players are coming out in the draft. Andrew Booth, probably the cornerback. They need defensive back help. But the Raiders look terrible, man. Where else do we have? Let's talk Cleveland real quick. Or do you want? We only got a couple of minutes left. What do you want? Let's just go to the Monday night game. Cooper Kupp, Rams. Hey, they got it done. They got it done versus the Cardinals. Cooper Kupp, what do you say? If you have Cooper Kupp on your fantasy team this year, you're probably sitting good. 13 catches, 123 yards, a touchdown. Odell Beckham, another touchdown. And what did OBJ have, 80-something receiving yards last night? Yeah. Van Jefferson, I think he had over 50 and a touchdown. Sonny Michel looked good running the ball. Matthew Stafford was fine. I mean, the story of this one to me was just how bad Arizona looks. I mean, how bad they looked. AJ Green led the team in receiving. What happened?
I know.
What happened to to Nuke, man?
Well, did you hear? I'm assuming you heard during the game. What surprised me more than anything is in what world does DeAndre Hopkins have no 100-yard games this season? Period.
I mean, he barely gets targeted. Well, he got 11 targets last night, to be fair. But not all targets are created equal. At least 7 of those were just thrown into double coverage. Literally no shot. He should have been called for offensive PI on one of them. It's James Conner, man. It's James Conner and that resurgence of a running game. And although he's not very fast, fleet of foot, he's making one-handed damn grabs in the middle of the field. He's running through play.
Yeah.
Great league winner. Definition of a league winner right there. A player that you draft, the values there, ADP-wise, league winner. He's smashing his props. I hit on a couple last night, prospects, plays. If you follow the picks, FTN Daily, I put them in there, all out there. Hit a power play. James Conner over 11.5 fantasy points, smash. Van Jefferson over 48.5 yards, smash. And then I had a 5-pick flex play, and 3 of those hit, so I did cash out a little bit on that one. Kyler's not going to win NFL MVP. I know a lot of people keep saying it. He's not going to win it. It's Tom Brady.
He looked terrible in this game.
He looked god
awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
He made some good throws, but you're just so there was the one throw to AJ Green where for some reason he keeps on AJ Green despite him and AJ Green not being on the same page at all. AJ Green's running the wrong direction. He's basically throwing it into 2 defenders. So that to me is surprising. He made some great throws to AJ Green, but at the same time, I'm the chemistry clearly isn't there. And on top of that, Kyler's making some poor decisions. I don't know if he's forcing the ball or he's just not reading the defenses, but that pick in the end zone, he completely, Kyler is short. He can't see over anybody.
Yeah.
So the fact that he can't see a linebacker, to me, it makes me think he's just throwing the ball blind. It honestly does. Because at what point do you just not see a linebacker? And then especially the throw to Leonard Floyd, he's I'll just finesse it. I'll go Drew Brees on him.
Yeah.
Touch pass it. Bro, what are you doing?
And I think that's the thing with some of these players. We see the spectacular, throughout the game. So then your mind kind of just forgets all the other. We see the spectacular, and they make the spectacular plays, but the routine plays sometimes is where they struggle. And your brain just goes to, oh my God, do you remember that amazing play Kyler Murray made? But then you're and he also missed 11 routine throws. He also should have 4 interceptions in that matchup. Again, DeAndre Hopkins OPI'd one of them. He got away with a couple of other throws, and that's football. love Kyler, spectacular player, one of the best in the NFL. Listen, what he's doing at 5'9" is incredible, but he's still 5'9". You know what I mean? Like that, it's. I don't know. I don't believe in Arizona defensively, and I still need to see Kyler when it's crunch time. And I don't know if he's got a go-to guy. I guess it's AJ Green, Christian Kirk. Nuke.
Christian Kirk looked pretty good.
Nuke had a bad
game.
game. Nuke dropped one. He screwed me in that flex play. I had him at over 54.5. He had 54 on the dot. Absolutely fucked me on that one. But now Arizona, I mean, it's a logjam for the number 1 seed with Tampa Bay, Green Bay, and Arizona all sitting at 10-3 right now. And then you got a couple of teams at 9-4. Cooper Kupp, great. Odell Beckham Jr. clearly was not the problem in Cleveland, and now there's a report that there's tension between Baker Mayfield and Stefanski. The Browns are in QB purgatory because they're going to have to pay Baker. Baker Mayfield has 5 touchdown passes to wide receivers this season. 5. 5 touchdown passes to wide receivers this season. And there's nobody else on the market.
Most of them are to Jarvis Landry, right?
Jarvis Landry, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Hollywood Higgins. And I think OBJ – did OBJ catch one from him? I don't even know if he caught one from him. But point is, I feel bad for Browns fans because that's a team built to win now. And I honestly think Derek Carr gives them a better chance to win than Baker Mayfield. I think Jimmy Garoppolo would give him a better chance to win than Baker Mayfield. And they're going to have to pay this man the bag. Crazy to think about. We got a lot more to get into. Tomorrow we're going to look at updated odds. I want to talk a little Saquon Barkley. We did not forget about Justin Herbert and his throw. We're going to talk Myles Garrett versus Micah Parsons versus TJ Watt. We got a lot to talk about moving into the Wednesday show. But thank y'all for being here, tapping in today. I hope you have a fine Tuesday, and we'll be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and tap into everything on besttv.com. We'll be back with more tomorrow. We out of this thing. Peace.